boyfriend.
Are you ready?
I've never done this before. Yeah, I am.
This is so stupid. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of this podcast that we've only done one time before. My name is Grace. I'm here with my good friend Ellie, and we're going to talk about the music that made our 2022. We had a lot of fun doing this 2 years ago, and then we
3 years
didn't do it
ago. We
last year.
skipped it last year.
Oops. But the good news is some great music came out this year and we're excited to talk about it. So this year I'm doing a recorded Zoom. Last year I recorded it on Streamlab, or 2 years ago I recorded it on Streamlab, and it was like glitching. So hopefully this time will be better, but I suppose we will find out.
Yar.
Yeah, without
Year
further
in review.
year end review. Welcome to not sponsored Spotify Wrapped, but it's just us and we have very similar music tastes, so
I think we're gonna be like pleasantly surprised by the difference in
okay.
our list. Because
So
Grace sent me her list ahead of time, and we each have our top 5 plus honorable mentions that are like more than 5. And so
yeah.
we had a little bit of crossover, but like not much, where it's like a couple of years ago basically we were like sharing almost all the same albums.
Mm-hmm.
But life is crazy and you go into different directions.
That is
That's just how
so
it is.
true. Okay, well, since you've just been talking, why don't you take it away with the first album?
Okay, wait. Are we going in like an order of top 5? I don't have an order.
Me neither.
So
I was
just
just gonna go
okay,
down. Yeah.
okay, okay. Then the first one I'd like to talk about in introducing myself to this listenerage is Motomami by Rosalia. So good.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, Motomami. It's so good. Um, it's like Latin pop of my dreams. It's so good. It's one from earlier in the year. It came out in the spring. And I didn't like deep dive into it. Like I was like, oh, it's new Rosalia, and a lot of people are like raving about it, so I'm gonna listen to it. And so I listened to it a couple times when it came out, but I didn't like really get into it until this summer. And I was listening to it all the time. And it's like I don't know all the words. It's all in Spanish, but it's like Rosalia is universal. Like Saoko papi Saoko. It's so good. And it's like, she just like is on the edge of like, it's like not quite hyper pop, but it's like Charli XCX adjacent, and it's so good. And it's so sassy, and also she's just like so emotional too. She has a song called Hentai, which is really funny, but it's like the one of the most emotional on her album. She's like, "Ya te quiero es hentai," and it's like really soft, but then there are like some like bullets noises, and I'm like, what is going on? But it's so good, and I love Motomami. So that's gonna be the first out of the 5 that I mentioned. I don't
Yeah.
know if you've had any experience with Motomami this year, but it's so good.
I haven't listened to any of it. I'm not super familiar with Latin pop as a genre to begin with,
Hmm.
which is something I would love to explore. I just haven't really taken the opportunity to do it yet. Um,
Our
but that
Spanish
sounds
teacher in high school introduced me to Rosalia, so that's all I'm gonna say.
okay. Well, I mean, excellent. I think, did she play at Austin City Limits one year?
I don't
I
think
think
so.
I
Maybe
think she did because
I haven't been the past few years, so um.
it would have been the year it got super cold. Doesn't matter. Anyway, I think I saw her perform a little bit, if that was her, and was like
Saoko
very
papi,
impressed.
saoko.
But Slay. Okay, well, I'm gonna take it in kind of a completely different direction. And I was when we were planning this out today, I realized I have almost all of the albums I'm gonna talk about today on vinyl, which
Damn it.
is
I thought about that as I was getting ready for today. I was like, do I have any props? And then I was like, no, these are all new albums. And so I don't have their finals yet. But I
well, I'm
don't
actually
test me.
surprised that huh?
Don't test me. I will. I
No, I
will have
believe
them
you.
eventually.
But there would have been no reason for me to have these on vinyl. I don't When I'm in Tennessee, I don't really buy vinyl. I love visiting record stores, but like I didn't have a record player.
Grimies.
Grimey's love of my life. Which if you are in Nashville, you should check out Grimey's. It's wonderful. And I was talking to someone the other day and I was like, "Oh yeah, I was just at Grimey's," and they were like, "What's that?" And I was like, "You have lived here for 4 years. How do you not know what Grimey's is?" Anyway, but all that to say, my dad came over the summer and helped me set up my grandfather's old 80s Techniques record player. So it's not like super high quality, but it is like I got both speakers set up, and it is just, I've had so much fun listening to vinyls both
Mm.
here and now I can listen to them at home. But anyway, went a little crazy and bought a bunch of vinyl, which actually, funnily enough, talking about my first album, I went into Grimey's to go buy another album that I'm going to talk about later on, which may or may not be the new 1975, but we'll get there. And while I was looking through the new releases, I see this. And I was like, "Oh, that's cool. She must have released something and I just didn't even know." It had come out that day. I had no clue, and so I just bought it because I was like, "Oh, I've liked her stuff before." I had no idea, and that would be Skullcrusher's "Quiet the Room."
Mhm.
Now,
Mhm.
this album is beautiful. It's not for everyone. It's very much lots of instrumentals, lots of quiet, ambient esque songs, but it is gorgeous. And I've really never listened to an album before that kind of guides the listener through childhood, not in a way that's sort of taking advantage of nostalgia and kind of making it painful, but this is like having a dream where you have an older sister who holds your hand and walks you through your childhood house. Like it is just stellar. Some highlights I have pulled up on my Spotify to talk about it. Whatever fits together, love. Pass through me, outside playing. It's like a secret. You are my house. It's very comfortable. It is also it's a little sad, but I've just really enjoyed listening to this. And it's a very good fall winter album. And Skullcrusher was actually introduced to me by a friend of mine a few years ago, and I like kind of didn't really pay attention to her. But then I listened to Places Plans.
Do you think that I'm going places? Does it matter if I'm a really good friend?
No, the lyrics on that song, knife to the heart. And I still, the Places Plans and now Day of Show, like they're incredible. And that, let me find the
Hmm.
EP that those are on actually. But um there's Skullcrusher 2020 EP. But all that to
Yeah.
say, if anything, this artist, which I don't know her name, let me see if I can find it here too.
Her
Helen
name is
Ballantine.
Skullcrusher. Oh,
Ballantine. Her name is Skullcrusher.
Skull, last name Crusher. I
Literally.
didn't know her.
Miss Crusher.
Miss Crusher.
She, before anything else, is an artist, and I really admire that about her work and how vulnerable she is in her songs, and it's incredible. So give this a listen. It's beautiful.
I listened to that album on my way to the airport the other day, and I was in traffic in San Jose and driving through a neighborhood, which was weird. Like my Uber was like cutting the highway by driving through a neighborhood, but we were still in traffic. And I was listening to that album and I was like, this is ambient. And I was like, I need to listen to the lyrics more. But you know, she's very soft when she sings, so I'll need to look at the lyrics, I think.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely,
yeah,
definitely
I
take a look at
enjoyed it. I'll listen to it again.
Slay.
I do love Places Plans. Is it my turn?
Mhm.
Okay, then I think um I will choose. Ugh, it was so hard to choose a top five, and it's like my number six is like in my top five. I'll have you know, but in my top five, uh, I want to bring up "Quitters" by Christian Lee Hutson.
Mhm.
That came out earlier this year. It was so good. The single off that album, Rubberneckers, was my number one song of the year.
Wow.
Um, I love Rubberneckers, and I think it's the Garden Song effect because Garden Song was the first song off of Punisher. Like it was the single off of Punisher. And so I listened to that so much. And then when Punisher came out, I listened to that so much. And so Garden Song was like my number one song. And same thing happened for Quitters. And so this is Christian Hudson's second album, and it's like such an amazing sophomore album. I think it's like a fantastic sequel to um Beginners, his first album. It's like Beginners, Quitters. The artwork is probably, I think, is done by the same people. Um I'll have that one on. I have Beginners on vinyl, but I don't have Quitters yet. Um and I think it's also again produced by Phoebe Bridgers and Connor Oberst, which is like, you know, I just think his lyricism is so fun, and it's like it's witty, but also it's like funny at times. And I think at some points it's like it's just poetic. And when I saw him live, I kind of, and I when I saw him over the summer live, it was a really small show. It was really intimate. I was like 2 feet away from the stage and not crowded at all. And you kind of got to hear it raw. Like I realized how folk rock it is, and the music was so good live, and he was great live. But the lyrics just kind of stood out in like how weird they are. And he talked about like being high in a museum and just like oil on canvas. Da, da, da. And I'm just like, you are a simple man writing your little folk rock lyrics, and I dig it. Um, and it's like a different song. It starts with like, are they siblings? Or are they dating? That's the game that we are playing at this festival in Kentucky. You say they are definitely fucking, and then and it's like so funny. But it's like also he has OCD and he talks about it like really openly in this album, which is just like so fantastic to hear about like his experience. And it's just, I don't know, it's very resonating, this whole album. It's either funny or very like sorely raw. And I just really enjoy the music. I enjoy the lyricism and the storytelling because he's just a fun, silly guy. Yeah, Christian Lee Hutson is one of my favorites, and I'm happy Rubberneckers was my number one song this year.
Sweetness. I've never I regret this so deeply, but Grimies has these pretty intimate shows that like every Sunday or day of the week an artist comes in but they don't tell you who. So it could be
Mhm.
literally anyone. Sometimes it's just local people, sometimes it's like big names. And one week Christian Lee Hutson was gonna play and I was gonna go, and then I don't know what happened. I was too
It was
tired or I
literally the week after I was in Nashville, right?
Yes, yes, it
Because
was.
I think, yeah, I don't remember what happened, but he was there really soon
And
after.
I didn't go, and I wish I did, just because he is. I've never heard another songwriter like him, and I really, like you said, I really admire his way to make humor and really serious topics kind of blend really nicely, which is a really hard thing for artists to do. I think I think Phoebe Bridgers has done it previously. I think ICU is a funny like anger song, but she
Hmm.
has not mastered it in the way that Christian Lee Hutson does. And I'm shocked that he is not more popular, which I kind of
Right?
like, but
He only has like 200,000 monthly listeners.
no.
It's and his tour was so tiny. Like I thought I'd be in a full room, but I got there like after doors opened and I was like second row. And
Dang.
so that's like crazy to me. And I don't know, like his choruses are just like so simple, but so it's just outright. Like the chorus of Rubberneckers is if you tell a lie for long enough, then it becomes the truth. I'm gonna be okay someday with or without you. That's it.
Bro, I haven't listened to the
Like
album either, so I need to.
it's Grace.
Maybe actually I'm gonna
You
download it right
gotta.
now. That'll be my airport album for
It's
actually, is that am I
it's
okay?
very nice. There's another song called Sitting Up with a Sick Friend, which is just a beautiful title. Like he doesn't say it in the song, but it's a beautiful title.
Oh.
Um he has another song called OC Demon, which
I
is
have heard OC
hilarious,
Demon.
but it's just very matter of fact. So good. And then he closes it with Triple Axel, which comes back around to a few references in other songs. And I really adore his sequencing of albums. His two albums are two of my favorite. So,
I should really take
yar.
a listen. You usually introduce really great albums to me, so I need to take a. And yeah, the album art is always beautiful on his. Like
So
I
good.
they're so pretty to look at.
You're coming to Austin in 2 days.
I come to Austin today.
I have a poster for I have a Quitters poster for you
Oh, sweetness. Okay, cool. I'm gonna, well, I wish I
with
could.
the album art on it. I I have the boxes right there, and I told my mom to send it while I was at school, and she has it, and it's in a
That's okay.
box, and it has your address on it.
I'll pick it up. Um, but yeah, okay.
Go ahead.
I'll jump in. What do I have next? Oh, okay. This comes as no surprise. I think I didn't want to spend the amount of money that it cost to buy this album on vinyl, but I did, and I'm glad I did because I haven't stopped listening to it. The single on this album literally got me through like winter of this year. I remember I was flying to Wyoming and we had horrible turbulence, like horrible turbulence. And
Hmm.
I don't love a plane. I don't like roller coasters. So to be in a plane with massive turbulence is just not fun for me. And I was by myself because I was flying to Wyoming and my parents were flying later that day. So I was just kind of
Hmm.
all out of sorts. Never been to the state before. It was crazy. I listened to this song titled Little Things. And it
Is this
just,
One Direction?
no.
Okay.
Was that a genuine question?
No.
Okay, good. I was
You
like, oh
can't
my,
go to bed without a cup of tea.
me.
Maybe that's the reason that you talk in your sleep.
Can you imagine if I showed up here with a One Direction album? No. Um, but anyway, just that song takes a moment and makes it vibrant. Whatever you could be in the grocery store listening to Little Things and be like, oh my gosh. Anyway, so this album is Dragon Noir Mountain, I Believe You by Big Thief. I'll be honest, I hate the cover. I hate this cover art. I hate it.
Really? I like it.
No, I
I'm
don't
gonna
like it
grab
at
a
all.
tissue real fast.
I'll go for it. I'll continue talking.
Keep talking.
But yeah, so Little Things was a single and I think it was on an EP and then they released it on this album. And what I love about this title of the album and the song Dragon Noir Mountain, I Believe You, is it is a reference to Adrienne Lenker's Anything, where she says, weren't we the stars in heaven? Weren't we the salt in the sea? Dragon in the New Warm Mountain, didn't you believe in me? Which I
Believe
don't
in me.
that those lines, I'm like, I'm actually worried that anything's gonna be my top song of 2023. Like, I can't stop listening to it. And it
It
used to,
was my number two of this year.
it's a great
Yeah.
song. It's beautiful. And I want to get that album Songs by Adrienne Lenker on vinyl, but we'll see. But anyway, yeah, this is just a very interesting folksy album. And I definitely think it's an acquired taste. But if you're looking to get into this, I would recommend listening to Little Things first. It's a very wonderful song. I feel like I've never heard anything like it. And then Simulation Swarm. Simulation Swarm is for the girls. And by the girls, I mean artists who are in burnout. But it's good. Anyway, I don't have much to say
It is
otherwise.
so solid. Um, I really like Simulation Swarm, of course, but Wake Me Up to Drive is so fun. I don't
Oh,
know if you like that one.
I just haven't
Um,
ever thought. Well, I should take a little bit of a deeper look. But yeah.
I like Wake Me Up to Drive, and Time Escaping is great, and Change had a chokehold on me last spring when this album came out. I was like,
No.
what is it like? Would you walk forever in the light to never see the dark of another moonlight or something
Something
like
like
that?
that.
It's
Yeah.
like I just like
Adrian can write a song.
it was just about like time moving and um like I can't look at you in the same way when you once held me. Like it's oh she and it's like the Fleetwood Mac effect as well because she's writing with the dude she divorced with. She married
Something like that, yeah.
ex-boyfriend.
Which is such an interesting thing. I really admire artists who are able to do that.
Yeah.
But also, I will say, sometimes her voice gets on my nerves, which is what I hate because I love her lyricism so
Hmm.
much. But I'm just like the the which I also I love folk, but I don't love twangy folk.
Okay, I found the line.
Oh,
It's would
go
you
for it.
walk forever in the light to never learn the secret of the quiet night?
Mm.
Could I feel happy for you when I hear you talk with her like we used to? It's so good. It's so good.
Dang.
I love a change. Okay, next album. Um, my next one, not straying too far. Uh, we'll do Waiting to Spill by the Backseat Lovers.
Uh-huh,
Another
yeah.
sophomore album. I was really excited for this. I've liked the Backseat Lovers for a long time, for like since like sophomore year in high school, I think. And I just love their first album. It's it was like really fresh for like indie rock, I think, or just rock, and really young band. And they had such a succinct sound, and it was so fun and also so angry, the debut. And so I was like so excited for the sophomore album. And it came out and it delivered. I just have to say it delivered. Artists don't always have to reinvent themselves to make new good stuff. Like Waiting to Spill has just been like a great progression, I think, for this band. And they keep like good storytelling, I think. Like the writing is good, but you don't always have to listen to the words to just get the emotion of the song. Um, Let me pull up the set list real quick. Um, yeah, I'd really love to go to a Backseat Lovers concert. I like their live album a lot. Well, I'm gonna say is
Bless you.
anyway. Thank you. Um, and but it's like it's kind of scary and it's also a little expensive now because they totally blew up over quarantine. Totally blew up over quarantine. Um, but this album I think hasn't been getting enough attention for how much they blew up over quarantine. People need to talk about it more. But it's a very seasonal album, I think. Like if you listen to it, they mention like falling leaves or like the day before Christmas or like will winter be kind to me this year, like something like that. It's a very seasonal album and I think that's why I'm really enjoying it right now. Like there's a song called Snowbank Blues, which is just exactly what it sounds like. And he starts it being like it's a bluesy song. He's like, been working for the man. And it's like it's so good. But the last song is really like I love Snowbank Blues. I love Morning in the Aves. Um, I love Slowing Down, and Viciously Lonely is the closer on this album that does not have enough streams. It's amazing. It's an almost 6-minute song, and there's just a great progression in it. And he's like, oh, let me look in the lyrics super quick. Um, but here is like the namesake of the album in Viciously Lonely. I'm not gonna be surprised if it's in my like 2023 most listened to because the November December like rolls over,
Oh, I
you
didn't
know?
know that.
Oh my God, my Spotify Wrapped was way too affected by that this year. Um, he says, but as my youth begins to expire, I'll slowly put a little less wood on the fire, but maybe it'll turn like a roll of old film or a bottle of wine that's been waiting to spill.
Mm.
And it's like, mm, yeah, it's so good. The chorus is I'm viciously lonely, lost respect. My best friend is the crick in my neck. Sit back and stone me, toss your rocks. Pretty good aim if you count headshots.
Dang.
It's a great album. It's folksy, it's roxy. It's very like it's a great sophomore album and I think it needs more attention and I love it.
Noted. I don't I listened to the first Backseat Lovers album.
That one is a lot more angsty, I think. Like I think
Yeah,
they've matured well.
good.
Um
Because I think that
like
was my
songwriting has matured and the music sounds good.
yeah, I think that was my qualm with it was I was listening to it as a sophomore or junior. I guess I was a junior in college. And I was just like, "Ugh, this feels a little too much like junior year of high school where I'm just like, I'm
Yeah.
different. I'm different and I'm angry for no reason kind of vibe.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd be curious. I haven't listened to it either, so I'll have to check that out. And yeah, you're right. You were talking about this earlier. I feel like that band, when I was listening to the album, could tell they just found their sound in their first album, which is insane to do
Yeah.
that. And you were saying like they just keep, and then I in my mind I heard Maddie Healy going, "We just keep getting
Keep
better."
getting better.
So I feel like that's definitely them. They clicked in their sound really quickly, and I can only imagine that's gonna continue on. So cool, I'll listen to it.
Yeah.
All right, so my next album I do not have on vinyl, but was pleasantly, like more than pleasantly surprised about how much I loved it. And actually, let me look it up so I can shout out some of the songs. But this would be, no, I don't want notifications, Spotify. This would be, which this is totally not the genre that I listen to ever. I don't even know what you'd call this, but it is Willow's Coping Mechanism.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. Amazing, amazing album. But I will say I'm listening to it at a time in my life where I am a woman and I'm angry. So I will say I think I resonate with a lot of it more than like Dragon New Warm Mountain vibes. Like I listened to this whole album like 3 times when I was driving up to Ohio over fall break, which is a 6-hour drive. And I listened to this like over and over and over again. Hover Like a Goddess, Batshit. Hold on, let me pull up some of the lyrics on this. Falling Endlessly, Curious Furious. Just Willow really took the idea, the concept of this album and ran with it. And her production, the production on this album is some of the best I've ever heard. For her to already be such a talented musician, the production on it doesn't like fix her inability to do XYZ. It literally just enhances it. Also, I'm so sorry. They're doing construction outside, and I don't know if you can hear that, but
I can't hear it.
okay, good. Because it's really loud where I am. Let me find, what was it? Not Hover Like Batshit by Willow. Which is my favorite song on this album. It's like especially in this song, it's not supposed to be like pretty. The lyrics aren't like the ones we've been talking about before. It's just a girl who's mad. In the second verse, she says, "Yeah, I thought I could, but it turns out my mental wasn't strong enough to face the facts and not clap back. And all the while you watch her ass walk through my heart and down the back street. Yeah, you think I'm cool, try batshit. Murdering my ego with a hatchet. Yeah, you'll never understand. Fuck, fine." And she screams that last line. In the chorus, I know you think what you're saying is really cute, but you're just wasting my time. And no, you're not on my mind. Like simple,
Aww.
simple, just like, ah. And it's
Ah.
fun. It's really fun. I think a lot of the albums that I listen to are just like, I love the lyrics, I love the flow, the concept, whatever. But this album is just like, yeah, I'm a woman and I'm mad. Like it's
Yeah.
that simple. And she did a really great job with it. And I am again pleasantly surprised about how much I have been loving her stuff. It's great. And especially from an audio engineering perspective, you just can't beat the production on this. Like every part of it is so good. And the more I listen to it, the more I'm just amazed. So yeah.
That's so surprising because I feel like, I don't know, in the past couple years, Willow has been such like a precarious artist.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, one moment she's like touring with Machine Gun Kelly, and another she's like making a famous TikTok audio, and you're like, oh, I thought Willow was like a serious artist, and then she took this like kind of weird turn. But I'm interested to like actually listen in because there's just been so much talk about her, and I don't know if they're actually like paying attention much to her music.
Mm.
Yeah, because I mean, we were talking about it with like Stanford Concert Network and trying to find a lineup for our music festival, and it's like Willow says like she's only playing with punk rock artists now. Like she's not, like she won't be in a lineup with an R&B artist right now
Mm.
because they're going for that new image for her. So
Interesting. Which I
yeah.
like. I don't mind it at all. But I don't think they need to I think she's already established that already. I don't think they need
Yeah.
to, as a management, like push it, but whatever.
Hmm.
Anyway, you're up next.
Okay. So my next album is gonna be Beatopia by beabadoobee.
Yes.
Do you like this one?
I like beabadoobee. I haven't given this one enough
Okay.
thought, but yeah.
Yeah, this was probably one of my albums of the summer. Um, it's so good. And it's like beabadoobee, like her genre has been so um indistinguished in the past. Like she's really good at like making like a really dreary song, and then she can make a pop song, and then she'll make like a super grunge like rock song, and she can do it all, and she's like shown that she can do it all in the past. But this album is like so like it's great in sequencing, and it's great in like having like one sound, and it's like I don't feel like it's like throwing me in a whiplash. Even though I do like how she's done that in the past, I just really like that this album has its own vibe, and it makes me feel good and it makes me feel a bit melancholy. And um yeah, so she kind of has her own sound in this, and also it's really fun because she's part of the label Dirty Hit, which is the label that the 1975 is under. And Matty Healy likes to have his hand in a lot of like other Dirty Hit kids' music,
Mm.
and you can hear Matty Healy's kind of hand in this album, which is really cool too. He wrote on "You're Here, That's the Thing," which is just such a such a sad song. Because I know you say that we're not a thing, but you're here. That's the thing. Uh, it's so yeah. And then yeah, I think this album like does a really nice job of it's like pop indie alt rock. But the song, what is it? Pictures of Us is on my like Midwest emo like playlist. It just has the Midwest emo guitar, and it's like this album has its nice like instrumental moments, and then she's sure her voice is just so soft when it needs to be, and then so difficult when it has to be, and she balances it so well on this album. My favorites at the moment, they change every day, but it's like when I left for school again, it was like see you soon. And over the summer, it was very much like sunny day. But right now, it's probably Broken CD and Love Song. Um, I think in Love Song, she's like, I miss the train again. You screamed at it as if that'd bring it back. And it was
Mm.
like, it's like, I don't know, it's simple storytelling. Also, I think the only feature on it is Pink Panthers, and that's like a really cool little duet between them. It's so cute and fun. But yeah, Beatopia is like just a good album from beabadoobee. I don't think it's her first. She's put out so many EPs that I like kind of lose track.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, I have a lot of fun with this album, but also you can just like sit and listen to it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the sign of a good album, I think, and I mean, in a certain light. But yeah, Biba Doobie, again, another artist who just found her sound really quickly, but that sound isn't just one thing. It's like doing whatever
Yeah.
she wants, and she's good at whatever she wants. And
Yeah.
she's such a versatile artist. I really admire that about her. And I think that's what makes her so popular is that anyone can find something they resonate with her. Yeah, another album I have not listened to yet, but I should really get on that. I love Dirty Hit artists so much. And you're right, I love that Matty Healy just really likes to jump in because I think it adds a really nice touch to a lot of albums.
Yeah,
And
I
he's
think
also he doesn't make a point to like prove it either, which I kind of like. You can just tell if you listen closely.
yeah, you can just kind of like hear his background vocals in some songs, and
Hmm.
that might just be it. Or
Hmm.
I think George might produce a couple songs on here.
That would not surprise me.
So it's yeah, it's so good. I can't recommend this album enough.
Madison Cunningham's Revealer. Now, Ellie, have you listened to this
I
album?
haven't even heard of it.
Oh, you need to drop everything when we're done here and listen to this album. I
Okay.
came across, I'd never even heard of Madison Cunningham, which is funny to me because she has like, I think 1.5 million monthly listeners, something like that. Like she is,
Who is this?
that's what I was like, who are you? And I was in one of my audio classes and we have like three professors for this class, one for sound design, one for like inner workings of like system networking and stuff, and then another professor who does like system networking. Anyway, one of these system networking professors was something, he was waiting for something to load and he was like, anyone heard any great albums recently? I've been loving Madison Cunningham's new album. And the guy sitting next to me, my friend, he goes, yep, Madison Cunningham. And I was like, who is Madison Cunningham? And the guy sitting next to me, I really admire his music taste. So I was just like, okay, I'll check her out. Oh my gosh. I have no idea how I did not know who she was, because apparently everyone at
Can you
Belmont
tell me what
University.
kind of music it is?
Oh, go on. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. But everyone at Belmont knows who she is except for me, apparently, which was silly. But this is a pop rock album, I would say, but also it's considered folk, which I'm like, where, but also okay. She is an amazing guitar player and lyricist. Let me just some shout outs on the album: Anywhere, Sunshine Over the Counter, Letter to Rachel, Letter from Rachel. Hold on. But I've never heard an album like this before. It's a totally new sound, and she's a young LA artist doing her own thing, and it's just great. It's a great like college album for college artists, and this is not her first album. It's not her first EP, as far as I know. But her lyrics are very eclectic. You kind of just gotta catch the string and flow with it. But yeah, on Sunshine Over the Counter, the chorus goes, good girl, got some bad in her, green ink heart on her lower back, knife in the toaster, didn't know it could kill her, living high to not feel low, saying you know what you don't. Like, being 20 years old, period, straight up. She's got some really emotional songs, like one about her grandmother. Sorry, there's another siren. Anywhere, you could convince me of anything. Any day now, I'll find myself free of it. You'll turn and see me there, daring to answer to no one. Any day now, I'll smile in the face of it, and you'll say you'd rather be anywhere but here. Like, just big ideas that she makes fun and inviting. And anyway, like every song on this album is different and new and fresh, and I couldn't recommend it more. Can't believe it took me this long to find her. But anyway, Madison Cunningham's Revealer. That's it.
Yeah, I've never heard of that one.
You should
You would
eat it up. You're gonna be just like me and be surprised you had never heard of her before.
Okay. Okay. Um, girl, I don't. For my fifth and final album, I just, it's just. There are six albums of my year, and so when I say my honorable mention, I need you to know I mean my first honorable mention, okay?
Okay.
Because my number five is Pre-Pleasure by Julia Jacklin.
Duh.
I don't know if you've deep dived this album yet.
I haven't. I don't even really listen to Julia Jacklin, which I know is offensive to you because Julia Jacklin is like yours. I know. Sorry.
She okay. Okay. So this album came out in the summer and like late summer, and the themes just rule. She it's like her past albums, like her first album, great sound, very good. Her second album, Crushing, is just one of my favorites. I love Crushing so dearly, and it does a great job of like taking you through the motions of a pretty interesting relationship, it sounds like, from the album's perspective. But Pre-Pleasure is just talking about a few different themes, continuing on a couple of the same ones and progressing on them. She talks a lot about like uh guilty pleasure. It's so the album is called Pre-Pleasure, and you can tell like she's had some sort of like religious upbringing, and she's like reworking a lot of that in her head. And she's very open in Crushing as well, but she's very open about her own relationship with her body and like taking care of her body as a priority in relationships, and not like letting her partner have like ownership of that kind of side of her. And yeah, so there's just like themes of like morality and like working out your own ethics, as well as like being a woman inside your own body and what that means. And so she has like themes of anger, but also themes of just um like she has a song called Two in Love to Die, which is like so tender and it's like so true. It's very much just like one note, and it's her singing is kind of like the key aspect of it, which isn't a lot of her music. And honestly, it's the skip of the album to me because I just have never felt that deeply. Like I can't relate to that song. Like she calls it "Too in Love to Die." Like it's like her words, man. um but also she has a song called Less of a Stranger that's about her mother, and it's like her mom will never know her as well as like her friends do and things like that. And it's like there's some very deep themes, but also ones that are just like very easy to listen to, like Moviegoer, which is just like just gonna go to the movies and chill out. But it's like this is just the storytelling on this album. It's like it's folk rock again. I saw her um in the summer, like maybe a month, maybe 3 weeks after the album came out. Austin was her first stop on her US tour, and she's from Australia. So this is her first time in the US. This is her first time touring the US, I think. First or second time. And so when she announced this tour, I bought tickets in the spring before the album came out. I was like, Julia Jacklin summer. Like I am so thrilled to see her live. And when I saw her, it was like the crowd for the opener was awful. They talked over the opener the whole time. It was disgusting. But in the main act, I like got in the crowd and I was like, I'm here for Julia Jacklin. Like, and just like, like there's a song in Crushing that says, I don't want to be touched all the time. I raised my body up to be mine. And just the women in that crowd screaming back that lyric at her was like moving to tears. It was a very healing audience to be a part of for the people that wanted to be there. Um, and so her storytelling in Pre-Pleasure really lives up to that. I'm just gonna say a couple more things about a few more songs, and that's in Magic. The magic, like the whole song is pretty much a joke of like I'm gonna be so seductive tonight and so sensual and I'm so cool, and it's like I'm a magician, I'm an illusionist, whatever. And then it's like at the end of the song it's like my final trick is asking if we can wait until I feel safe again. And it's like she just really has the power in her music. And very much her song "Be Careful with Yourself" is like Lucy Dacus's "Please Stay." That's all I'm gonna say. It's like the Spider-Man pointing at each other, you know. And then the last song in this album, it is a 10-song album. It is a 10-song album. It is, how many minutes is it? It is 37 minutes. It is a 10-song album. The last song, "End of a Friendship," just literally tells the story of a person who is presumably touring with her because of the story that it tells, who is her friend, who she's never seen totally eye to eye with, but goes up to her and says everything she doesn't like about her, like to her face. And it's literally called "End of a Friendship." And it's like Julie Jacklin just being like, what am I supposed to do with this? Like, it was the encore when I saw her live, and the chorus goes like, "My whole head is spinning round the room. If only if it would land, plant and bloom," or something like that. It's amazing storytelling. Her voice is amazing. She's a gem. She's just like a gem that more people need to listen to. She's akin with Christian Lee Hutson. Um, the themes rule her music, and it's very touching. Yeah.
Slay. Yeah. So my reactions were because I had no idea she was from Australia. I had no idea she'd never toured in the US before. Like all this, I just don't know much about her, which is again shocking to me, and which I feel like Julia Jacklin will be my new Phoebe Bridgers in that you listened to Phoebe Bridgers for a long time before I did, and it took me like I couldn't listen to a lot of Phoebe Bridgers because it hurt too bad, and I feel a little bit like that about Christian Lee Hutson, but I'm warming up, and then I feel a little bit like that with Julia Jacklin. So I'm
Yeah.
curious to see if I will end up. But I really love that. I love all the things you said about her. I'm very much looking forward to listening to this album and dissecting it a little bit.
Like I mean, it starts with the singles. So it's like the first time I listened to it, I was like, okay, yeah, these are the singles, whatever. And then it got to "Ignore Tenderness," which is the first non-single on the album. And
Mm.
it's just that could be an opener in itself. like to another part of this album where she goes, I've been trying to be turned on by you, be turned on by myself, or anything else. And it's like, it's just so interesting to hear her perspective. And it's like, it's beautiful.
Slang.
Okay, your turn.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna speed run this, and then I'm gonna speed run my runner-ups, and then you're gonna speed run yours, and then I'm gonna go to the airport and go home.
Okay. Okay.
But okay, my last album, which comes as no surprise. Oh wait, where is it? Oh my gosh, wait! I didn't even realize I didn't talk about. Oh yeah, because this is a runner-up too. Okay, hold on. Where is it? There it is. Okay, no surprise. Being Funny in a Foreign Language by the 1975.
Looking for somebody to love.
Best song on the album. That's my favorite. Dare I say no skips. I am a little not a fan of Part of the Band, which I know is surprising and painful. I know everyone gives me that look, and
it was my number 6 song this
I'm
year.
just so surprised by that. I don't love it. Part of the Band, and then When We Are Together. It was a flop for the end of an album. I'll say it. But actually, I'm glad that I said that, because Ellie and I have a playlist on Spotify called Second to Last Songs on Albums, which are, to me, more often than not, or at least half the time, like better than the album closer. And there's some magic in the second to last songs, and it's good that they're second to last and not the final song. Anyway, second to last on here is About You. Need I say more? There was something about you that now I can't remember. It's the same damn thing that made my heart surrender. And I miss you on a train. I'll miss you in the morning. I never know what to think about. But I think about you.
I think about you.
Like, oh my God. And the fact that I believe it's Ross's wife who sings that. This album is not new from 1975. It is a return to the 2014 era, and a lot of the songs sound alike, and I'm not mad about it. I'm not mad about it. Yeah, like it is comforting, it's fun. It's a great album. Also, I'm realizing right now it's looking for somebody parentheses to love close parentheses. I did not realize that until right now. But anyway, really, really, really love this album. It's been highly anticipated by me for a while, and it's not my favorite 1975 album, but it is the only no skips I think that I have. And yeah, so there's no somebody else on here. There's no I like it when you sleep, for you're so beautiful and yet so unaware of it on this album. I love the ambient stuff that they put out. I love the one, like, I don't know if I'm explaining this right, but anyway, I
really get
like,
what you mean.
Yeah, but it's really taken them out of their like hole of I feel like they were kind of losing it for a second, not like in a bad way, but they just hadn't released anything for so long that people really liked. And I loved Notes on a Conditional Form, which was their last album, and I hear now that people hated it. So
yeah, they did, and I think those people are the worst.
No, I'm like,
sorry,
get some taste.
I love No SF.
No, that was my quarantine album.
We listened to it over quarantine at the same time and live texted each other about that album.
I remember.
And it's like, neither of us were thrilled at the moment, but like when it came to Don't Worry Darling, shambles.
No, we were gone. And even having no head, I love that song.
Oh my God, Backseat Not in Net.
Backseat Not in Net. Literally, like, it's such a dynamic album, and no one gave it the chance it deserved, which they should have, because it was freaking quarantine. Anyway, all that to say, really like this album. I feel like it's a very transitional album for them. Like, it's kind of the chapter 1.5 in between vibes, but it's cool. Okay, speedrunning my runner-ups. First of all, the band Michelle. Oh my gosh, really impressed by Michelle. A lot of their songs I really like. Nothing 50-50, one of my top songs of the year. Loved it. Muna, new album, amazing. Love it. It was one of my like end of summer albums. It was so good. Great. Midnights by Taylor Swift. Couldn't not mention it. I'm so excited. I got tickets to see her in May. That will be my first time seeing her. I'm really looking forward to that. And woulda, coulda, shoulda. She says, "Give me back my girlhood. It was mine first." Oh my gosh. Just that line. And also Karma's just a really good song. I love Karma. Anyway, okay. Okay, here's one of my other runner-ups. This is Florist's self-titled album. So good. Really good. Kind of same vibes as Skullcrusher, Quiet the Room, very folksy, very beautiful. Florist is a great band and always put out things I'm impressed with. So great album, recommended. Next, Joe. I don't remember the name of the album. It's something like with the name
End of
ball.
the Beginning.
End of the Beginning. It's
It was
fun.
one of
It's
my
quirky.
runner-ups as well.
Yeah, it's a great album. I think had we done this podcast earlier in the year, I would have put it as one of my top albums, but I just kind of lost vibes with it after the summer ended. But it's a great album. Dayglow's new album, also very good. And he also just released an album of remixes, which is very cool. It's like kind of, again, ambient instrumentals, great. Quinny B, or just Quinny as she goes by. Oh my gosh, talk about like what's it called when you just like meet the like in a race when the last horse like
Comeback?
yeah, like a comeback or just like a surprise. I mean, where has she
A
been?
dark horse.
A
That's what it's
dark horse.
called.
Yeah, she is a dark horse. Like I remember I saw a TikTok with Touch Tank and was like, "What is this melody?" Like I saw the clip of it and was like, "Did you hear my jaw pop?" Like I mean, I listened to the TikTok audio like every night before I went to sleep, and it was like a 30-second clip. Like that was it. Anyway, I'm in love with Quinny. I cannot wait until she releases a new like an album or an EP. Like her singles have all impressed me beyond compare. I'm obsessed with her. I love her. And then finally, my last artist is Mac DeMarco, who has not put something out for a while, but I mean, I love him a lot now. And I feel like every time I go home, he is like my Austin artist. Like, I love him. He makes me feel like young and like I'm in high school again, but in a good way. And just, he has very dynamic lyrics and it's fun and it's kind of Midwest emo-esque, but it's also pop. And it's just, I love Mac DeMarco. So anyway, that's my music of 2022. Okay, take it away.
I need to give a couple minutes. I'm sorry. I need to give a couple minutes to Crash by Charli XCX. What
Yeah,
you
not surprising.
want? I got it. It's like this album is insane. This album is insane. Some people are like, oh, Charlie's never gonna beat Pop 2. Like, oh, Charlie is never gonna beat Charlie 2.0 or whatever. Like, shut up. I love Crash. It is solid pop. So many amazing songs. She had such a long-term partner for a while. They broke up. Crash is not a sop album. It is bops about a breakup, and it's so good. Um, but it's also just like it's it's so good. Anyway, my top songs off that are every song on this album. New Shapes featuring Christine and the Queens and also Caroline Polachek. The lineup is insane. It's amazing. Um, what else? Lightning, you strike me down like not. It's so good. Yuck is probably gonna be in my top of 2023. Um, Yuck. Now you got me blushing. What's it called? Cheeks so red when this blood started rushing. Yuck. That boy so that that boy's so funny sending me flowers. I'm just trying to get lucky. Yuck. Quit acting like a puppy. Yuck.
That
It's
reminds
like
me of Grow a Pair by Kesha.
so good. Like so it's like the song is like about how like this boy's like treating her so nice and she's like literally stop it. Like I don't want this from you. That's not what I want from you. It's like yuck. It's so good. Anyway, Twice. Don't think twice about it. Don't think twice. Don't think twice. Don't think twice. No, don't think twice about it. It's so good. Also, how can I not know what I need right now? Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. How can I not know what I need right now? It's so good. Sorry if I hurt you. Might I say the sequel to Yuck? And then what you think about me. I don't really care what you think about me, what you think about me. So yeah, fuck you. It's so good. Um, anyway, sorry, Crash. I had to give it its 5 minutes of fame. It's beautiful. It's a fantastic Charli XCX album. I love it so much. Honorable mentions. One of mine was also Dragon New Warm Mountain. We already talked about the end of the beginning by Joe. We already talked about. Um, I need to say Hold On Baby by King Princess. Good, good, nice. Another album by King Princess. It was a good album. I liked it. I really liked the opener of that album. I Hate Myself. I Want to Party. She said it.
Her, me.
Um, the older I get, the funnier I was by Whitmer Thomas. He, yeah, the man has probably like 20,000 monthly listeners on
Yeah, I've never heard of
Spotify,
him.
something like that. I found him through Christian Lee Hutson. He's friends with Christian Lee Hutson. Christian Lee Hutson was on one of his songs in a previous album. And so I listened to the previous album, and then his new album came out this year. The singles came out over the summer and just ruled me. I love the singles of this album so much. He has a song called Everything That Feels Good Is Bad, and it's like a 5 minute song, and it was in my top 100 this year. And he just lists things that feel good but are bad for you. It's like have an honest conversation with an ex about boundaries, fall asleep in each other's arms watching the TV. Um, what else? Uh, all the best films are about a man with a vice, getting stuck in Reno, lying to his wife. Um, but the chorus is like everything that feels good is bad. All the things that make me happy make me feel so sad. Um, yeah, I only buy books for the nice colorful covers or something. Like it's a hilarious song, but it's like so sincere. Whitmer Thomas is also a stand-up comedian, and so a lot of his songs have like his a lot of his specials, he's a special on HBO. A lot of his specials also include music. He's kind of like a Bo Burnham figure, but he's not as introspective and just straight up. Okay, sorry. I love that album. And then Uncanny Valley by Coin. Coin is my favorite band. I love Uncanny Valley. I love Growing Older and Watering a Dead Flower and Killing Me. And it's just like a solid Coin album. That's all I have to say. It's nothing groundbreaking in larger music world, but it's a solid Coin album. Chase Lawrence has my heart. Nervous at Night by Charlie Hickey. Because Charlie
Did that
Hickey,
come out this year?
yes, that was really early this year.
Whoa.
Yeah, Nervous at Night by Charlie Hickey. I love
Count the
um
Stairs.
Planet with Water and The Month of September. Those were both in my top 100, I think. And then I could not do this without mentioning the new SZA album.
Oh
It
my
came out last
gosh.
week. I don't know if you've dug into it yet, but
Mm-hmm.
it's like just new SZA. Like, how are we not gonna like it that it came in the year of our Lord and Savior 2022? Like, we just have to mention the new SZA.
Of
I
course.
I personally have to.
Mm-hmm.
Um, those are all my honorable mentions. I want to say on the horizon is the new Caroline Polachek album.
Yes.
Welcome to
To
my
my
island.
island.
I can't.
I'm learning. Ellie texted me a few days ago and was like, "You have to learn all the lyrics to the song and also the bridge before you get home." Well, I get home today and I'm getting there, but
Me too. Me too.
yeah, which
But it's like
weird.
the
Also,
bridge
not an
starts with like,
honorable.
"I'm my father's daughter." In the end, your
Which is
sister's
funny. I
so
listened to
talented.
that. I like listened to that song on my way to a poetry writers night, and I wrote an album or a poem with the line "I am my father's daughter," blah blah blah, and then I didn't even notice, and I went home and listened to the song again. And was like, was that just seeping into my brain? Like I didn't even know. But also, Caroline Polachek released an opera song this year, which was just so interesting for her to do. But anyway, yeah, it was a good year for music for sure.
I think I like in this year in review and this reflection that I had when I was putting together this list, I was like, oh, I really like these albums when I thought I was like really unsatisfied by this
Mm,
year's music. Um, but it's just like, no, these are just a few more solid albums from a few of my faves, you know? Like if Christian Lee Hudson makes it, I'm gonna listen to it. If Charli
mm-hmm.
XCX makes it, I'm gonna listen to it. But
Yeah.
it's like, you know, dark horses, Rosalia, Motomami. I didn't expect that to like rewire something for me. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I'll send you a few of the songs in the album that you should listen to. But
I just
like,
need you to send me all of the albums because I want to listen to them while I'm flying home. But yeah, it was a good year for music. Again, Maddie Healy said it best. They just
just keep getting
they
better.
just keep getting better, as well as um I don't like menthols.
Don't like mentals.
Yeah. Anyway, But yeah, this was fun. I'm glad we should do this. I know I said this last time, but we should do this every year. Like I really, it's a
Yeah.
fun thing for us. Like I know a lot of people probably don't care or think twice about the music that we like, but I
Don't
like
think
the music
twice,
that we
don't
like and
think
I like to
twice,
talk
don't
about it.
think twice, think twice,
So
don't think about it. Twice by Charli XCX off Crash Deluxe.
there you
Stream it.
go. Yeah, we should, I hope this gets big so that we can have Mike's mic on here and then he can talk about all of his favorite songs because I know he
He
listens
was
to a
just
lot of
unfollowed by Vogue on TikTok.
I know he's shut down and I'm
The
glad I
lore.
follow him because
The
now I'm
lore.
in the inner system and anyway, that's irrelevant for this podcast. But anyway, if you have still been listening this far, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. Ellie and I have built a friendship off of our love of music and being like literally in opposite parts of the country, and being in opposite parts of the country, but also doing music in our own ways. Oh my gosh, she just thought of something.
Sorry. Yes, yes, all of what you said, but I also have to mention the new Carly Rae Jepsen album. It's
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah. And it's been getting the praise it deserves.
Sorry, it's so good.
Anyway, yes, lots of good music. Ellie has a great time running the Stanford Concert Network. I study audio engineering and music business at Belmont. So like we are just doing music in our own way, and it's always so fun to get to talk and just figure out what we're doing and how we're doing it and the way
Our
music affects
musicy
our
stuff.
cultures and things. It's great. It's a good time. Anyway, that's what we have for today. Happy 2022. I hope you guys also found some music that you've loved and enjoyed. If you haven't listened to any of the things that we mentioned, you should totally check them out. I'm probably going to link all, if not most of them, in the description so you can check them out. Give your artist some love before the end of the year. But yeah, thank you for listening. Ellie, can't wait to see you in a little bit. Be in the same state finally again.
Once again.
Yeah, thank goodness, because what would you do without it? But anyway,
I don't know.
thank you all so much. And until next year, I guess. Bye.
Stop recording.
I am.